Okay, so lymphatic drainage. If you have a look on the Canva, on the presentation up there, you will see that there are some certain areas that we should know are part of the lymphatic system. So we've got the thymus, which is found, you might want to walk around so you can see. The thymus, we've talked about the thymus before in the endocrine system, but that is found, we've got the bunion on, just as it curves in, if we move straight round to where the end of the pad is, that is where the thymus is, okay? So we would be working the thymus a little bit more. We've done that before by pushing it towards the middle, the medial, or the other foot. So you can feel, I can feel that in Holly's. I'm so sorry, Holly. Let's do it in the other one. So the thymus is something that I like to push towards that area. It's not obvious in that one. The spleen is only in the left foot. This is the left foot, right? Yes, it is the left foot. So the spleen, I come down from between the 5th and the 4th metatarsal. We've got the diaphragm. So the diaphragm is here, right? And we've got the 3rd and the 4th. On this side, it's not the spleen. On the left side, it is the spleen. And this is where we want to work it a little bit more. So that might be that we thumb walk it. It might be that we pulsate it a little bit more. There is another action that we use the forefinger and the thumb, and we basically squeeze. At the top of the foot, you'll feel, maybe not on your dad's, but in the tendons here, where it's almost where the bones meet. That's where it is on either side. So you just push together. We've also got the axillary nodes and the lymphatic nodes. So we all do the lovely, beautiful push in, and we have the drainage, as we go down. We're doing all of that. At the top, we are going to use our pincer hands again. So these are the axillary lymphatic nodes, and around the ankle are the inguinal lymphatic nodes. So using our pincers, we're going to go in between each web and kind of push in and out. So we squeeze, but we also go out. So we can do that a few times in between. And again, it all depends how mobile those toes are, right? Because there might be that you just can't spread them. You can't get that far. So I would just work the tops a little bit more. But the lovely squeeze, I quite like a squeeze in between my pads. I don't like up and down the side of my toes, but I like a squeeze. So we would have that on both sides, and it's every single web between each metatarsal. So I'd squeeze those a few times. And as always, we would complete a normal reflexology treatment, and then we would go back to these. Do a little bit of effleurage, do it again, another effleurage, do it again. So you're doing it like 3 times of like, I'm intending to help these. So we'd also be doing the sweep down, the lymphatic drainage that we all love and know, the tap, tap, tappers. We would do that on both. But the inguinal is also this area. You'll really notice that when people have bad lymph drainage or problems with their urinary system, their ankles can be quite puffy. Me included. They're not bad, but I know when they're puffy and they're a little bit sore, it's because I really need a lymphatic drainage massage, or I need to drink more water, have less tea, stop eating crap, all of those things. And that is basically what we're going to do, is just finger or thumb walk down. So we do our lymphatic drainage to about the ankle, and then we want to be working further up the ankle with your thumb or your fingers, whatever feels good for you. But we're basically going around the top of the ankles, but we also really want to work the ankles more, like really get in there, like really massage around, whether that's like lovely circles, whether it's smaller circles, anything that helps. Loads of the ankle rotations is really, really good around here. So here is another really lovely place to get the lymph moving. And notice we're working in the direction towards her heart. We're spreading it all that way. And the same with this foot. So we would really push down. I love working on ankles. Ankles is the most important area as far as I'm concerned with lymph. Might do a nice little wiggle And you can really feel when there's areas that, like, it's almost like a kind of crunchiness that occurs. Be aware that this is where also our vas deferens or our fallopian tubes are. So we don't want to be too heavy-handed, but we want to be pushing downwards in that direction. So that is what I would add. We've got the thymus pushing in. We've got the spleen on one side that we can either use the pincer motion or we can just work. Again, like all the other areas, the spleen tends to be located there, but it can be a little bit away around. So if you don't feel anything, just have a move around. It's better to try and impact all of a larger area because we know it's roughly in that area. We're going to do our normal drainage, but we're also going to do the pincers for the axillary lymphatic nodes, and you can do that together or one at a time. And then down here, the inguinals, really sending that down. Does that all make sense?